Ladies and gentlemen, let me ask you a question. What if the greatest force on earth is not technology, money, luck, or even talent? What if the greatest power is already inside you? What if the key to creating the life you dream about has been with you all along? Today, I want to talk to you about something that can completely transform your future, unlocking the power of your mind. What if I told you that the life you're living right now is largely the result of the thoughts you have been thinking day after day, year after year? Think about that for a moment. Every decision you make, every action you take, every goal you pursue, and every opportunity you either seize or miss begins with a single thought. The most successful people in the world are not necessarily the most talented, the luckiest, or the most connected. They're often the individuals who have learned one powerful secret. When you change your thoughts, you change your life. Most people underestimate the incredible influence their minds have over their future. They wake up each morning carrying the same doubts, the same fears, and the same limiting beliefs they carried yesterday. They tell themselves they are not smart enough, not experienced enough, not talented enough, or not capable enough. Over time, these thoughts become beliefs, and those beliefs begin to shape their reality. Here's the shocking truth. Your mind does not always distinguish between what is real and what you repeatedly tell yourself. If you constantly focus on limitations, your brain will find evidence to support those limitations. If you focus on possibilities, your brain will begin searching for opportunities. Let me ask you a question. Have you ever noticed how two people can face the exact same situation and achieve completely different results? One sees obstacles and gives up. The other sees possibilities and pushes forward. The difference is not the situation. The difference is the mindset. One person has trained their mind to focus on what could go wrong, while the other has trained their mind to focus on what could go right. Imagine waking up every day with a different internal conversation. Instead of saying, I can't do this, you tell yourself, I can learn this. Instead of thinking, this is impossible, you ask, how can I make this possible? Those small shifts may seem insignificant at first, but they create a powerful chain reaction. New thoughts lead to new emotions. New emotions lead to new actions. New actions lead to new results. And new results create a completely different life. The greatest transformation does not happen when your circumstances change. It happens when your perspective changes. The moment you begin believing that you are capable of growth, improvement, and success, you start behaving differently. You take more chances. You speak with more confidence. You become more resilient when challenges appear. You stop seeing failure as proof that you are not good enough and start seeing it as evidence that you are trying, learning, and growing. Here's something remarkable. Every breakthrough in your life begins with a belief that something better is possible. Every entrepreneur who built a successful business started with a thought. Every athlete who broke records started with a thought. Every leader who inspired millions started with a thought. Before there was achievement, there was belief. Before there was success, there was vision. The next time doubt enters your mind, remember this. Your future is not created by your circumstances. It is created by the thoughts you choose to believe. The quality of your thinking determines the quality of your actions, and the quality of your actions determines the quality of your life. The moment you take control of your thoughts, you begin taking control of your destiny, and that is where real transformation begins. What if the biggest opportunity of your life is sitting right in front of you, but you can't see it because you're too focused on the problem? Think about that for a moment. Every day, people face challenges, setbacks, uncertainty, and obstacles. Yet some individuals find a way to rise above those circumstances while others remain trapped by them. Why? The answer lies in one powerful principle. What you focus on determines what you experience. Your mind is like a magnifying glass. Whatever you focus on becomes larger, more significant, and more influential in your life. If you constantly focus on what is missing, what is broken, or what could go wrong, your mind will begin searching for evidence to support those thoughts. Before long, you'll see barriers everywhere. Opportunities will seem scarce, challenges will appear overwhelming, progress will feel impossible. But when you shift your focus toward possibilities, solutions, and opportunities, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your perspective changes, and with it, your entire experience of life. Consider this question. Have you ever bought a new car and suddenly started noticing that same model everywhere on the road? The cars were always there, but now your brain is paying attention to them. In the same way, opportunities often surround us every day, but most people never notice them because they are too busy concentrating on their problems. The mind naturally finds what it is trained to seek. The world's most successful people understand this principle deeply. They don't ignore problems, pretend challenges don't exist, or live in a fantasy world. Instead, they approach difficulties with a different mindset. When faced with an obstacle, they ask empowering questions. Rather than saying, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of saying, this is impossible, they ask, what is another way to achieve this? Those questions immediately direct the brain towards solutions rather than limitations. Think about the moments in your life when you achieved something meaningful. Chances are, success didn't come because circumstances were perfect. It came because you chose to focus on what was possible. Despite the imperfections, every major breakthrough in history emerged because someone saw an opportunity where others saw a problem. Every innovation, every achievement, every remarkable success story began with a person who refused to let obstacles dominate their attention. Here's a powerful truth. Problems can consume your energy, but possibilities can multiply your energy. When people become obsessed with difficulties, they often feel exhausted, discouraged, and powerless. Their attention becomes trapped in a cycle of negativity. But when they begin focusing on solutions, creativity expands, motivation increases, confidence grows. The same challenge that once seemed impossible starts revealing pathways forward. Imagine walking into every challenge with the belief that there is always an answer, always a lesson, always an opportunity hidden beneath the surface. Imagine training your mind to look for advantages instead of disadvantages, possibilities instead of limitations, and growth instead of defeat. That shift alone can transform the way you approach your career, your relationships, your goals, and your future. The reality is that opportunities rarely announce themselves with flashing lights and perfect conditions. They often disguise themselves as difficulties, setbacks, and unexpected changes. Those who learn to focus on possibilities develop the ability to recognize opportunities that others completely overlook. They understand that where focus goes, energy flows. By directing their attention toward what can be done instead of what cannot, they unlock levels of creativity, resilience, and achievement that most people never experience. Every day presents a choice. Focus on the obstacle or focus on the opportunity. The direction of your focus will ultimately determine the direction of your life. What is the one voice you hear more than any other voice on earth? It isn't your family, your friends, your teachers, or your coworkers. It's the voice inside your own head. From the moment you wake up until the moment you fall asleep, there's a conversation constantly taking place within you. The shocking reality is that this inner dialogue has the power to build your confidence or destroy it, fuel your dreams or sabotage them, push you forward or hold you back. The quality of your life is often determined by the quality of the conversations you have with yourself. Most people don't realize how much influence their inner dialogue has over their emotions, decisions, and actions. They allow negative thoughts to run unchecked. They repeat phrases like, I'm not ready, I'm not good enough, I always fail, or I can never do that. At first, these may seem like harmless thoughts, but your mind listens to every word you say to yourself. Over time, those repeated statements become beliefs, and those beliefs begin to shape your reality. The words you consistently use internally become the blueprint for how you see yourself and what you believe is possible. Think about this for a moment. If someone followed you around every day and spoke to you the way you sometimes speak to yourself, would you allow them to stay in your life? Probably not. Yet many people tolerate levels of self-criticism from themselves that they would never accept from anyone else. They become their own greatest obstacle without even realizing it. The battle for success is often won or lost long before any action is taken. It begins in the mind through the stories people tell themselves. The most successful individuals understand a powerful secret. They consciously take control of their inner dialogue. They don't wait for confidence to magically appear. They create confidence through the language they use. When challenges arise, they don't automatically tell themselves they can't handle them. Instead, they remind themselves of their strengths, their past victories, and their ability to adapt. They replace destructive questions with empowering ones. Instead of asking, why am I failing? They ask, what can I learn from this experience? Instead of saying, I can't do this, they say, I haven't mastered this yet. This shift may seem small, but it has enormous consequences. Your brain responds to the instructions you give it. When you tell yourself that something is impossible, your mind stops searching for solutions. When you tell yourself that there must be a way, your mind becomes curious, creative, and resourceful. The language you use directs your focus, And your focus influences your actions. Imagine beginning every day with intentional thoughts. Imagine looking in the mirror and reminding yourself of your potential instead of your limitations. Imagine replacing doubt with determination, fear with courage, and excuses with responsibility. Over time, those positive messages begin to reshape the way you think, feel, and act. You start carrying yourself differently. You become more willing to take risks, pursue opportunities, and persist through difficulties because your internal voice is encouraging progress rather than predicting failure. Every great achievement begins with a belief, and every belief is reinforced by repetition. The words you speak to yourself today become the foundation of your confidence tomorrow. Whether you realize it or not, you are programming your mind every single day. The question is not whether you are influencing your inner dialogue. The question is whether that dialogue is empowering you to grow or convincing you to stay where you are. The moment you take control of that conversation, you begin taking control of your future, because the strongest force shaping your destiny is often the voice that no one else can hear. What if the very thing you're trying to avoid is actually the thing that could transform your life? What if every setback you've ever experienced carried within it the seed of a greater opportunity? Most people spend their lives fearing failure, running from challenges, and doing everything possible to avoid disappointment. Yet the individuals who achieve extraordinary success understand a truth that separates them from the crowd. Setbacks are not roadblocks. They are stepping stones. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up is not the absence of failure. It is the ability to turn setbacks into comebacks. Think about some of the most successful people in the world. Their stories are rarely stories of smooth journeys and effortless victories. More often, they are stories of rejection, hardship, mistakes, and obstacles. Before the success came, the struggle. Before the breakthrough came the breakdown. Before the victory came, countless moments when quitting would have been the easier option. What made the difference was a refusal to allow temporary defeat to become permanent defeat. Many people experience a setback and immediately begin creating negative meanings around it. They fail once and decide they are failures. They face rejection and conclude they are not worthy. They encounter an obstacle and convince themselves that success is not meant for them. But a setback only has the meaning you choose to give it. The event itself does not define you. Your response to it does. Two people can experience the exact same challenge and walk away with completely different outcomes. One becomes discouraged and quits. The other becomes determined and grows stronger. Imagine a pilot flying through turbulence. The turbulence does not mean the plane is off course. It simply means the journey includes rough conditions. Life works the same way. Challenges are not signs that you're moving in the wrong direction. In many cases, they are signs that you're pushing beyond your comfort zone and moving toward growth. Every meaningful goal will test your patience, resilience, and commitment. The question is not whether difficulties will appear. The question is whether you will allow those difficulties to define you or develop you. One of the greatest mindset shifts you can make is learning to see failure as feedback. Every setback contains valuable information. Every mistake teaches a lesson. Every disappointment reveals something you can improve. The most successful people are not those who avoid failure. They are those who learn from it faster than everyone else. They understand that growth requires experimentation. And experimentation naturally involves mistakes. Instead of being embarrassed by failure, they become students of it. Consider how a diamond is formed. It develops under intense pressure over time. Without the pressure, there is no diamond. Human potential often works the same way. The challenges you face are shaping qualities within you that comfort never could. Strength is built through resistance. Confidence is built through overcoming fear. Resilience is built through adversity. Every setback has the potential to develop abilities that will serve you for the rest of your life. The next time life doesn't go according to plan, resist the urge to ask, why is this happening to me? Ask instead, what is this preparing me for? That single question can completely change your perspective. What feels like a defeat today may become the foundation of your greatest success tomorrow. Every obstacle carries an opportunity. Every setback contains a lesson. Every challenge presents a chance to grow stronger. Wiser and more determined than before, the people who rise to extraordinary heights are not those who avoid difficulties. They are those who learn how to transform life's toughest moments into fuel for their greatest comebacks. What if I told you that your future is being shaped right now by the information you consume every day? What if the books you read, the videos you watch, the conversations you engage in, And the people you surround yourself with are either building the life you want or silently pulling you away from it. Most people are incredibly careful about what they eat because they understand that food affects their physical health. Yet very few people are equally careful about what they feed their minds, even though mental input has an even greater impact on the direction of their lives. Your mind is like fertile soil. Whatever you plant in it will eventually grow. If you consistently plant negativity, doubt, fear, and limitation, those things will take root and influence your actions. If you plant confidence, knowledge, discipline, and inspiration, those qualities will begin to flourish. The challenge is that many people allow their minds to be filled with information by default rather than by design. They consume hours of negativity, endless distractions, and opinions that weaken their belief in themselves, then wonder why they struggle to stay motivated and focused. Think about this carefully. Every single day, your mind is absorbing thousands of messages. Some of those messages encourage growth, while others encourage complacency. Some inspire action, while others create fear. The question is simple. Are the things you consume helping you become the person you want to be, or are they keeping you stuck where you are? The world's highest achievers understand something that average performers often overlook. They treat learning as a lifelong responsibility. They understand that growth doesn't happen by accident. It happens through consistent exposure to ideas that challenge old beliefs and expand new possibilities. And they read books that sharpen their thinking. They listen to leaders who inspire action. They seek knowledge that helps them improve their skills, mindset, and performance. They intentionally surround themselves with people who raise their standards rather than lower them. Imagine spending just 30 minutes every day learning something valuable, 30 minutes reading a book written by someone who has already achieved what you want to achieve, 30 minutes listening to a powerful lesson while driving, exercising, or preparing for your day. It may not seem significant in the moment, but over weeks, months, and years, those small investments compound into extraordinary growth. Just as a small amount of money can grow into a fortune through consistent investment, a small amount of daily learning can transform your mindset and your future. Another powerful reality is that the people around you influence your thinking more than you may realize. Human beings naturally absorb the attitudes, beliefs, and expectations of those they spend the most time with. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, excuses, and pessimism, maintaining a positive mindset becomes difficult. On the other hand, when you're around ambitious, optimistic, and growth-oriented people, and their energy begins to elevate your own thinking, success leaves clues. And one of the fastest ways to grow is to learn from people who are already living at a higher level. Consider the impact of a single empowering idea. One book can change the way you think about money. One conversation can change the way you see your future. One lesson can inspire a decision that alters the course of your life forever. Great transformations rarely happen because of one dramatic event. They happen because of consistent exposure to ideas that gradually reshape the way you think, believe, and act. Every day, your mind is being programmed by something. The question is whether that programming is strengthening you or weakening you, whether it's helping you move closer to your goals or quietly pulling you away from them. The information you consume becomes the thoughts you think. The thoughts you think become the actions you take. And the actions you take ultimately create the life you live. Feed your mind with knowledge, inspiration, and growth. And you begin building a foundation that can support extraordinary levels of success, confidence, and achievement. What separates those who only dream from those who actually achieve? What turns potential into performance, intention into impact, and vision into reality? It is not just belief. It is not just knowledge. It is one of the most powerful forces in human behavior, action. Massive, consistent, deliberate action. Because at the end of the day, a powerful mindset without action is nothing more than wishful thinking. And here's the uncomfortable truth most people avoid. Your dreams are not delayed because you lack ability. They are delayed because you are not moving fast enough or boldly enough toward them. Think about it. How many times have you felt motivated after watching something inspiring, reading something powerful, or listening to a speech that ignited your emotions, only to return to your routine and do nothing differently? That gap between inspiration and execution is where most dreams die. The world is full of people who know what to do, but very few who actually do what they know. Knowledge alone does not change your life. Action does. Here's a powerful shift in perspective. Confidence is not something you wait for. It is something you create through action. Most people believe they need to feel ready before they start, but the reality is the opposite. You never feel fully ready. Clarity, confidence, and momentum are built through doing, not waiting. Every step you take, even uncertain ones, imagine standing at the edge of your future, knowing exactly what you want, but refusing to move because conditions are not perfect. That is where most people remain stuck, not because the path is impossible, but because they are waiting for certainty in a world that rewards courage. The truth is, there is no perfect time. There is only now. And the quality of your future will always be determined by the quality of actions you take in the present moment. Massive action does not always mean huge, dramatic moves. It means consistent, intentional effort applied every single day. It means showing up when you do not feel like it. It means pushing forward when results are not immediate. It means choosing discipline over comfort, growth over hesitation, and progress over perfection. Small actions, when repeated with intensity and consistency, create unstoppable momentum. Think about a rocket launching into space. Most of its energy is used in the first few moments to break free from gravity. That resistance is strongest at the beginning. Life works the same way. The first steps toward any meaningful goal often feel the hardest. Resistance appears in the form of doubt, fear, and distraction. But if you push through that initial resistance, momentum begins to build, and what once felt difficult starts to feel natural. Now ask yourself, what could your life look like if you stopped overthinking and started executing? What could change if you turned every idea into action, every intention into movement, and every opportunity into experience? The difference between where you are and where you want to be is not just intelligence or talent, it is your willingness to act before you feel ready. Because in the end, success does not belong to the ones who think the most. It belongs to the ones who move the fastest, stay consistent, and refuse to stop when things get uncomfortable. The moment you choose action over hesitation, you step into a completely different level of possibility, and that is where real transformation begins. So today I challenge you, dream bigger, think bigger, believe bigger. Stop underestimating yourself. Stop letting fear write your story. The potential within you is greater than any obstacle in front of you. Your future is not determined by your past. Your future is determined by the decisions you make today. As I close, remember this. Inside your mind lies the power to create, achieve, overcome, and transform. The life you want is waiting on the other side of the beliefs you choose today. Unlock the power of your mind, and you will unlock the power of your life. Stand up, take control, believe in yourself, and step boldly toward your destiny. Because the best is not behind you, the best is yet to come. Thank you, and never stop believing in the greatness that lives within you.